When I was a kid, I wanted to be a basketball player, a track star, a community organizer, an actor.
How and why did you get into politics?
I actually started in politics when I was actually your age. Back then, the city of Stockton had a lot of programs for youth, so I was in this thing called the Youth Leadership Academy, where every month a new speaker would come in. It included the mayor and the vice mayor and the police chief, and I was like, wow, these people are human. Then after that, I joined the Youth Advisory Commission for 2 years, where I was chairman. And my job was to really help think through how to be better, advocate for young people, and how to make Stockton a very youth-friendly city. That was my first exposure, but that exposure actually was a turnoff for me. I was like, I don't want to do politics. But then when my cousin was murdered in 2010, that's what made me come back to Stockton, and it became clear that being in elected office was one avenue to make a lot of changes.
Twin Tunnels.
I think the Twin Tunnels project is a huge game changer for the city in a negative way. The Delta as an ecosystem is important for our way to life, so I'm against any plans to build the Twin Tunnels, especially because it's super costly for the whole state. I think a study just came out that said it would cost taxpayers $6.5 billion and do nothing to address water concerns and drought concerns.
What do you do to avoid Stockton becoming bankrupt?
To avoid Stockton becoming bankrupt, it means being very smart fiscally and sometimes making tough financial decisions. It's really recognizing the difference between kind of one-time cost and ongoing cost, and making sure if there is something that's going to be in the city's budget in perpetuity, that there's a clear line item for it.
What do you do for the mentally ill homeless in the community?
For the mentally ill homeless, I work closely with the county and making sure that services are delivered to them in ways that they can actually utilize and use. To win this November, I think you saw the amount of interns we have. So we're going to be phone banking, we're going to be door knocking, we're going to be talking to voters, we're going to be having house parties, we'll be hosting fundraisers, and we'll be really trying to show people that Stockton's best days are really ahead, and that new leadership is needed for the city to reach its full potential.
Your views?
Yeah, the chlorine situation it's been a decade-long process in the making. The idea is that you have to find some way to treat water so it's pure and we're able to use it and not get sick. And in the case of chloramines, I think cities like LA, Palo Alto, San Francisco use chloramines, and they've been using them for Tracy, not too far from us, and they've been using it for over 20 years in some cases with no real health effects on the populations and community. Additionally, I think the statistic is that 1 in 5 Americans have their drinking water treated with chloramines, meaning that it's not some obscure new pseudo-science thing, but it's been rigorously tested. So my position is that after a decade of meetings and discussions and figuring out how we're going to treat our water, it's important that we're vigilant in ensuring our infrastructure is one so that chloramine doesn't have an adverse impact on our pipes, for example, and lead to lead. But Stockton's not Flint. The situations are it's not apple-to-apple comparison, and chloramines are safe. I'm in Stockton. There's no incentive for me to put something in water that I'm going to drink that's not going to be healthy.
How would you better manage Stockton's water, not only in terms of chloramines, but also in this time of drought?
Well, I would say the people that were mad about this was like 4 of them. And all of them have different agendas or weren't necessarily clear as to what we were doing because they weren't listening, they were yelling. Because basically what we wanted to do as a council was to show that we were still united, that we're still doing good work for the city, and that we're not going to let distractions and stupidness distract us from the issues facing the people in the city of Stockton.
And in the conference, he said, quote, "Distractions won't stop us from the work that we got elected to do." What were you referring to by when you said distractions?
I was referring to the mayor's recent arrest, but also just to a lot of stuff that happened in Stockton. It's campaign time, it's silly season, so people get distracted by my lawn sign was stolen, or you put your sign in front of mine, or this person is like this person. Just anything that's not about the core issues facing Stockton residents, I would call it distraction. I don't think any politicians were there, from what I've read in the record. And I think it's not political. It's very sad, and I'm looking forward to the legal process, and I'm hoping justice is served. I would say strikes are always unfortunate, and I would say I hope both sides, management and teachers, sit at the table and think about what's in the best interest of the students and the families we serve. And I also understand as an educator myself the importance of teachers being valued and respected and compensated because it's a difficult job.
Obviously, you're quite young to be so far. What makes you qualified, and what would you like to say to the people, to the Stocktonians who say that who think that you're unqualified, and who think that you're unqualified?
I would say age and qualifications aren't the same. I have a master's in policy in undergrad from Stanford with honors. I spent time in the White House working with mayors and councils nationwide and getting a real view as to kind of how other cities are run and what they do. I've also been on city council for the past 3.5 years. So I've been in the middle of exiting bankruptcy and figuring out what to do with homicides and figuring out how to treat our water and figuring out how do we get our audits and our books in order and figuring out how do we create offices of violence prevention and then start the Reinvent South Stockton Coalition doing work around improving South Stockton. So I think in the past 2.5 years I've shown myself ready for the rigors of being mayor, and I look forward to working with the community to help me where my age may be an issue. Yeah, so I only met Oprah one time. We met at a luncheon, and she was inspired by what I said and decided to donate to the campaign. Oprah being who she is, I'm sure she's incredibly busy and still supportive. She checked in on Twitter a couple years ago. I saw her a couple years ago at Stanford. She asked me how everything was going. So she's still supportive. I think she understands that she was a great catalyst, but that it's up to the people of Stockton to support me in my efforts to really change Stockton.
Well, how do you know her?
So Ms. Jobs, she's a trustee at Stanford University where I went to school. So she heard about the campaign, heard about the work we were doing, really interested that she's a very philanthropic person, interested in how do we improve communities like Stockton or East Palo Alto and other places. So I think that's why she donated.
Aside from running for office, what was the most dangerous thing you've done?
Oh man, I went parasailing in the Bahamas for my 25th birthday, but I'm like scared of heights and I also can't swim. And I was also in the Bahamas, so the parasail thing didn't work. So I ended up not drowning. I felt like I was going to drown, but I had a life jacket on. I was actually could stand in the water, but still terrifying. And then I was dumb enough to get back up and do it again. But I'm happy I did. It was a great experience. I would just say, I think like I said last time, the city of Stockton is lucky that we have an older generation, but a younger generation of students like you or like my interns who are super smart, super bright, super sharp, and super engaged and invested in how to make Stockton better. And that's a real gift.